Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 31 Media podcast. My name is Vaishnavi Nashte, and I'm the Marketing and PR Manager here at 31 Media. Today's podcast is in collaboration with the National DevOps Conference and Awards, or as we call it at 31 Media Headquarters, the NDCA 2024. If you are interested in attending or speaking the conference, or even to exhibit your tech solutions to our delegates, please follow the link in the description to do so. Today, I am pleased to have Michael Sagalovich, who is the DevOps and QA Automation Practice Lead at Coherent Solutions. This podcast is particularly interesting because it will explore the current trends in DevOps, automation, and its future. Welcome, Michael, to the 31 Media Podcast. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Amazing. So, the first question that I have for you is what are the current trends in automating manual labor in IT?
Yeah, so if we speak about the trends, we just must mention AI, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe there are just numerous podcasts and everything around on AI. So I will not be talking too much about AI today, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
because it's too much of a trend.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
the elephant in the room, so it's fine to have something without AI for once.
Yeah. So I would say that the current trends are there for a couple of years already,
Mm,
and it's moving towards automate everything. Yeah.
hmm
So if we talk about manual labor in IT, I particularly mean everything that happens after a developer commits their code. Yeah.
mm,
So in good old times, all the steps after that were pretty much manual. Somebody would need to run a build, and somebody would need to manually copy some package from one server to another server, lots of manual efforts. After everything is deployed, to monitor it, to react to some alerts, and all of these steps are being automated.
mm,
And it is because it prevents errors, and it also because the infrastructures are way more complex than they used to
mm,
be maybe 10 years ago or more.
mm. Right, right. Okay,
So
that
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, okay. And how do you think automation today is transforming industries? Sure, AI is definitely playing a role, but we are not talking about that today.
Yeah.
But automation in particular, how do you think it's transforming a various range of industries? And can you give us specific examples or specific industries as well?
Yeah. Actually, I was preparing to this podcast, and I read some UK specific cases.
Hmm.
So I read about one interesting case where automation didn't transform anything just because it was
Okay.
not brought in on time. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I read about sorry, mortgage meltdown in
Ah,
UK in
yeah.
2022. Yeah, I don't know if it's actually still going on or not, but in
Hmm.
2022 it was the case definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So I read an article
Yeah.
regarding that, and one of the reasons behind that was that the systems in the banks were just not ready to the surge of interest rates. They were not ready to update their interest rates and their mortgage programs fast
Mm-hmm.
enough
Yeah.
just to cope with the speed of the change on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of players just, well, were disqualified, if you will,
Oh gosh.
and were not able to serve their customers. So,
Yeah.
and it made things worse because there were less competition on the market.
Mm.
So yeah, and one of the biggest reasons behind that is because they were not able to automate their changes, to automate
Mm-hmm.
delivering their changes into production.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they were like, the bank industry is notorious for legacy systems because everything,
Yeah.
if you need to change something in bank, it takes ages.
Yeah.
So with this huge legacy systems and with little mm, level of automation,
Mm-hmm.
they were just not able to deliver on time. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and like vice versa, there are lots of examples. Certainly, I don't know, Netflix as a classic one,
Yeah.
where automate microservices, of course, and automation can hardly do microservices without automation.
Hmm.
Enables industries to deliver their new features extremely fast to the market.
Right,
And
right.
that's the easiest example you can provide.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are examples when you have an idea, you spend, I don't know, 2 days to develop this idea, and after development, it takes you 15 minutes to see this idea in production,
Yeah,
which was impossible before we started using automation.
yeah. And I'm assuming there's like a bit of AI into it to sort of like help them, like reach to the final stage in like 15 minutes, which is like crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy if you think about it, but if you think about it as a small addition to existing functionality, and if you
Yeah.
know that everything is covered with automated tests,
Mm,
properly tested, properly analyzed, and
yeah.
the no go decision is easy to make.
Mm,
Uh, Maybe also automated, maybe not, but still, it doesn't require you to analyze tons of reports to
mm,
decide. Well, it's not that crazy then.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so my next question to you is about tools in automation. So, what do you think are the latest tools in automation, specifically in DevOps?
Yeah. It's funny because on the one hand, things are developing rapidly. On the other hand, the tool set that is in demand, according to the projects we work on,
Mm,
are quite stable for maybe several years already. There
mm-hmm.
is like, okay, there are always some small, like, I don't know, libraries you can use, but they don't change the landscape. So to me, it is still all about infrastructure as a code, which is Terraform or Pulumi
Yeah.
or cloud-specific tools like CloudFormation or
Mm-hmm.
IRM templates, things like that. I mean, I hope nobody gets offended if I didn't mention something, but the set is pretty stable.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it is about Kubernetes, which is automating managing Docker images, right?
Mm,
Uh, and again, it's not, it would be funny to call it the latest. Yeah, it's here
mm,
for quite a long time already.
yeah.
It's been 10 years recently since it launched, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, for me, it's hard to outline some very latest tool that's super important.
Mm. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
makes sense. And also with so many tools and I don't know, like services basically coming up in the space as well, it must be quite difficult for people to sort of keep track
Mhm.
of what's new. Do you have like some tips for our viewers to basically keep track?
To me, the most important factor here is to be like a professional in your sphere. The
Yeah,
professional means that you understand how things work,
yeah.
you understand why you do this and that,
Mm,
and you don't rely too much on a specific tool. Like, of
yeah.
course, tools are important. And of
Mm,
course, you need to monitor blogs. You need to watch podcasts like this, or maybe
yeah.
more technical and more specific podcasts on particular tools.
Mm,
But you need to avoid this fear of missing out, you know? If
mm-hmm.
you if you haven't heard of a certain tool, but you know that this is another, I don't know, CI/CD tool, it shouldn't be a problem to you. I mean, if you've
Mm-hmm.
done CI/CD with Jenkins or Circle CI or whatever, or
Yeah,
Azure DevOps, whatever, for
yeah.
years, and there is another CI/CD tool, of course, it will take you some time to get used to its specific. Maybe it will have some specific user interface, or
Mm,
maybe it will have some specific
mm-hmm.
language to code commands.
Right,
But
right.
if you understand what's going on and what you're doing, it will not be a problem. But of course, you still need to monitor the market to be able
Mm,
to talk with your colleagues and understand
true,
what what
true.
they're speaking about, and to understand the advantages of certain tools you are considering at least or using.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we have been talking about automation specifically. And how do you think, like, what role does it play in workflows? How do they improve workflows and basically, reduce any sort of manual intervention required?
Yeah. So if we talk about like DevOps, and automation is an essential part of DevOps, automation helps to avoid silos,
Mm,
when people don't talk to each other, when people just are concentrated on some very minor, if you look at the whole picture, very, very minor details of
mhm,
their specific job title, and don't care about other side. And it's kind of understandable because there is lots of things they need to do. They don't have time to look around. With automation, the routine is well automated,
mhm,
and people have more time to look at the bigger picture, to communicate with other team members, with a bigger team working on a single product. And well, it's always more effective. They will
mhm,
notice issues like that happen between the teams.
mhm.
When something works on the developer side, something works on the ops side, but
Yeah,
it doesn't work when it
yeah,
puts together.
yeah. That
So
actually
this
is
is
all.
the yeah, sorry, this is the most important factor to me. I mean, of
Mm,
course, speed of delivery is important. Like, of course, if you automate things and you automate them properly, it helps you avoid human mistakes.
mhm,
But well, I mean, if you made a mistake, you can fix it.
sure.
Mostly, the vast majority of our products are not about saving human lives. So if a mistake is in production for an hour, maybe
Mhm,
it's not a big deal.
mhm,
But the fact that people to communicate, and via this communication they design better solutions, to me,
mhm.
that's the most important.
That's actually a really good insight, because so many people are like looking to introduce more automations, to have like a more streamlined process. So I think our audience will find this very helpful for sure. So thank you for that. My next question to you is, how important do you think will automation be to a company's digital transformation strategy? So talking more about the future.
Yeah, I think that nowadays it's just what you must have,
Mm,
and it will not decrease its influence and its importance. Again, for the reasons I mentioned, it
yeah.
streamlines the delivery, it helps you get your features into production faster, it
Mm,
helps you with testing, it helps you with establishing right communication in the teams. And I
yeah.
mean, I don't even imagine how you can survive today without proper automation.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. My final question to you is from a recent study that was published by GitLab. And the study basically revealed that, DevOps tools are basically enabling developers to release the code faster. But even so, like security does remain an issue today. So, like, do you agree that security is being compromised in any way to sort of, during the entire race to the market? And how can we address this issue and what can we do about it?
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. I absolutely agree. And uh, when I was speaking about go, no go, yeah, probably the security aspects are the most important ones for those making these decisions.
Mm,
And I believe we still need to have people there, even though AI can help, even though
yeah,
automation can help. Uh, I would love to see some studies saying that AI is currently able to cover all the security aspects and you can just
mm,
easily rely on it, but it I will take it, with a lot of doubt if this
yeah,
study appears. So I believe we need people there. Because
yeah,
on the one hand, automation can also help you with detecting security issues in your products, of course. There are lots of well-documented possible issues that you can just automatically check and know if they exist in your
mm,
system or not.
mm,
This OWASP top 10 list is the easiest example. I mean, pretty much all of them can be automatically tested,
Yeah.
most of them.
Hmm.
But still, they
The
always
manual
are.
intervention is still required, I think.
Yeah. There are still new attacks that can appear that nobody can
Mm.
imagine nowadays, and you need to have a good team of white hat hackers
Yeah.
who will test your product against such attacks that you don't imagine today. And of
Yeah.
course, it depends on your industry. I mean,
Hmm.
again, if you're releasing I don't know, a new Facebook killer, which doesn't have millions or billions of people of audience,
Mm.
if you're going to release it to your local community for the first 2 years,
Hmm.
probably the speed of delivery is the most important factor to you,
Yeah.
and you may postpone security
Hmm.
for better times when you have more time and more money for that.
Yeah.
But if you're a global company, or if you're dealing with, like, I don't know, healthcare, personal data, all this
Hmm.
stuff, like, of course, security is still
Yeah,
there,
it's still
and
important.
probably you need to sacrifice your speed because of
Mm.
security.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think security would come first before speed for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Amazing. That was my last question. But thank you so much, Michael, for being on the 31 Media podcast. Your insights have been amazing, and I'm sure our audience will find it very helpful. So thank you again.
Thank you very much. Thank you and thanks to your audience.
Perfect.